In this video, we're going to continue the job of restoring the electrical system of this 1978 Kawasaki KM100 to full working condition. This is our second video on the topic. When we started last time, the only electrical component on this motorcycle that worked was the headlight. We made some progress, but there's still work to be done and a few issues to resolve. A major accomplishment that we had was that we were able to get charging voltage going to the battery. There was a problem with that though.
Yeah, too much voltage.
Right. This is a 6-volt battery. I expected about 7 volts going to it with the engine running, but that's not what we saw. Battery has 3.9 volts at rest. Start the motor now. That's definitely much higher than I expected, but I'm not certain that anything's wrong, and I'll explain about that in a minute. The second major accomplishment of the previous video is that we were able to see some activity from the tail light, the brake light, and the turn signals. I'll demonstrate. Tail light works. When I pull the brake light, you can see the brake light filament lights up, but overall the light gets dimmer, which is the opposite of what's supposed to happen. Kind of funny, but I don't think it's working like it should. The turn signals work too. Left turn signal.
It doesn't work.
Oh. Well, they worked last time. I'll try the right one.
No turn signal. I guess it broke some more.
Yeah, so we're going a little bit backwards, but that's all right. If you want to see the turn signals kind of working, you can watch the previous video. I think that a lot of these issues, maybe all of these issues, may be solved by just installing a good battery. My homework after the last video was that I wanted to try to charge the existing battery because I didn't know if those 40 volts were sufficient to charge it. I didn't even know for sure if they were DC volts like they should be, because I don't know the status of the charging system or really even the status of my multimeter, because somebody dropped it on the concrete last time and yanked it up by the wires. So I brought the battery over to the charger, plug this in. I thought the chances were high that the battery is toasted because it's never put out more than 4 volts or been able to power any of the electrical stuff on the motorcycle. And sure enough, rather than taking a charge, it just Roxanne'd me.
Ooh.
Fault, bad battery.
Put on the red light.
Exactly. So I went on to Amazon, ordered a new battery, just a cheap generic one, because you guys should know me by now. I'll complain about declining quality, but won't pay for anything better. I fabricated a couple of foam cushions for the battery box because I noticed with the old battery it really danced around in here when I started the engine, and I want to show this one right from the start that I care about it. Now this is exciting. Battery is hooked up.
Did you already give it the juice?
Haven't turned it on yet.
I meant the battery juice.
Battery is charged.
Okay.
I'm about to turn the ignition switch on. Okay, that's a good sign. No smoke yet. I'll monitor the state of the battery as I turn on the ignition to the other position. Right now it's on, but I can turn it more this way and it'll be oner. Not my joke, but I liked it. Second position turns on the headlight and tail light. Right now everything's energized and the motorcycle will run, but the headlight and tail light are off. So negative and positive. Healthy battery, 6.4 volts. When I turn the switch now to the nighttime position, we should see something that we haven't seen on this motorcycle before, which is an illuminated tail light, even though the engine isn't running. Say when.
When? Ooh.
That's a nice sight to see. I'll start the motor now and see what the voltage does. This system doesn't have a voltage regulator. It's built so that the output from the alternator should, on average, provide about as much power as the system needs. And I think that's why I was seeing such high voltages earlier, because there wasn't a battery to put that power to. The electricity was just kind of piling up on both ends.
Ooh.
That's a technical term right there. Now that there's a battery here, hopefully it will absorb that electricity and we'll see something closer to what I originally expected, around 7 volts. I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, oh!
Ah.
Who's the electrical engineer now?
Oh, you are.
A little bit low on voltage, but better than 40. We've got a working tail light. I'll pull the brake light now. Earlier, I didn't have enough juice to illuminate the brake light and the tail light without them going dim. See what happens now. Well, I don't see any difference now.
No difference.
I have an idea. I wonder if my brake light and tail light leads are reversed. The brake light should be brighter than the tail light, but if I have it hooked up vice versa, the brighter light would always be on. So I know red and white should go to tail light, which I thought was this one. This is the wire that goes to the back light, but we'll switch it over to this one. See that? Can you keep track of the mess here? Don't need to answer that.
No.
And this one we'll switch over for the brake light. See, I know from my wiring diagram that this is the tail light and this is the brake light wire on the motorcycle. But I don't know which one of these two is the brake light and tail light for the light fixture. Try it out now.
Looks dimmer.
Okay, tail light. That's the tail light circuit. Something I want to mention right here that I didn't notice when we were filming this part is, since I changed the tail light to the lower power filament, there's more charging voltage going to the battery. You can see the multimeter is showing 6.5 volts right now, and in a moment it'll get as high as 6.6, which is right where it should be. So I think the charging system is in good shape.
That's great news.
Yeah.
Back to the video.
Pull the brake.
Yeah!
There we go.
Try the turn signals.
Left turn signal. I'm hoping against hope. Nothing. It worked last time. You remember, it worked last time.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if the turn signal relay went bad. This little cylindrical thing is the device that makes the blinkers blink. Since neither of the turn signals work, it leads me to believe this might be the problem. Can't tell you exactly why, but I don't want to deny my intuition either. What we can do to test it is get a little jumper wire to go from this one to this one, try out the turn signals again, and if this is bad, what will happen is the turn signal will illuminate, just won't blink.
Okay.
Don't blink, I can't find the wire that I want in here. So, just a minute. Okay, I found a jumper wire to put in here temporarily. I didn't expect to park this for 2 weeks and have it develop more problems on its own. Surprises every day here, aren't there? So let's try it. Since we have a battery, I don't even need to start the engine and smoke you out.
Oh.
Turn on the key, tail lights on, left turn signal. Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
All right.
And right turn signal. So for some reason, the blinker relay decided to fail. I need to think for a minute about what to do next. Probably the sensible choice would be to go to the auto parts store and buy one of these because they're likely less than $10, but I'll just do what I usually do. Take it apart, see if I notice anything obviously wrong with it. Try to fix that and hopefully not break something else in the process, including myself.
I like it when you mend things.
I've never had one of these apart before. Did not think the video would go this way either. Turn signal flasher investigation and repair. Well, I don't see any problems. Can't tell how it's supposed to work either, though. The two most basic ways of fixing something. Tap on it, blow it. I'll reinstall this again real quick just to see if it behaves any differently now that I've worked on it. Okay, flasher's hooked up, key on, turn signal. No dice. I think I got it figured out.
Oh?
Like I was talking about last time, the more time you spend with something, first comes familiarity and then understanding. If I turn on the turn signal, there's power coming out of this wire that wants to get down to this wire, which feeds the blinkers. That's not happening now though, because there's an open contact between this plate and this plate. So if I push this, one of the turn signals should light up.
The key on?
Oh, no. Try again. Aha!
Ah!
Alright, so that's the first part of the puzzle. And the way it does that automatically is with this tiny little white wire, which broke off of here. See that little remnant poking out?
I think so.
That's where it should be connected. So if I just put it back how it goes. Ooh, see how it got hot? Did you see that smoke? Turn the key off. What happens is this wire gets hot. And when this wire gets hot, it expands this little metal strip over here, warps the entire plate, and the contacts meet each other, completing the circuit. Now, I don't know if this wire originally was spot welded onto that tab or just pinched in there. Either way, I'll do my best to reconnect it. Maybe it'll work.
That filament looks about as thick as a cobweb.
It reminds me of sewing. Can you see what I'm doing?
I think so.
Good, because I can't.
Perhaps you should wear your glasses.
And admit defeat? Never.
I like your hands.
Thank you. I considered clipping my fingernails for this video because viewers have mentioned that they're unattractive when they're long. But I thought, we're probably not going to do any close-up work this time.
And you don't really care about your appearance.
Well, they should just be lucky I'm not doing this with my toes. All right. I think that's as good as it gets. Maybe?
Yeah.
Let's see if this works.
It's gonna work.
Connected.
It works. Why don't you try the other one just for good measure? It works too?
It works. You can come over here and see it.
Oh yeah!
You can see its heart beating. There's a good chance my connection will come unraveled with time though, so I'll try to source and order one of these. But we're good for now.
Oh yeah.
I'll replace the cover and then move on to the next step. Alright, turn signal relay is back together and reinstalled on the motorcycle. And on the topic of turn signals, I suspected in the last video that these were 12-volt turn signals mistakenly installed on a 6-volt machine. So I took off one of the lenses, and sure enough, that's a 12-volt bulb. So I ordered some new turn signals. These are also 12 volts, but in addition to the blinkers, I bought some bulbs, and hopefully they'll play nicely with one another. Not a bad look.
Kind of bulbous. Get it?
Oh, like with bulb. Okay. Do you like them though?
Yeah.
It was only $10 for all four. I don't think I could get 4 pieces of chicken for $10.
The rising costs of nuggets these days.
So I'll open this up and have a look at the bulb. There is the 12 volter. I wanted to find a 6-volt equivalent to this, but I didn't know what replacement bulb to buy because there wasn't any information on the listing for these turn signals that talked about the wattage or even what type of bulb came with the light. So I think these are the best option, but I had to do some guesswork. I can already tell that the new bulb is taller, but the base looks the same. Maybe, maybe not.
I don't think it's gonna fit.
Too tall? I think you're right.
It's just too long.
Yeah. That's a waste of money.
How much were these?
$9 maybe?
Woo!
Got 10 of them though that I'll never use. Wait a minute. All is not lost. So the lens cover doesn't fit over the 6-volt bulb because it's too tall. But if I release this bulb holder from the dish, see the slide action? That'll allow the bulb to recess deeper into this housing and eliminate the interference issue. See that?
Okay.
It can just live same as it would anyway, except with its head nestled down a little more. Whew. I think that'll work. I'm just hooking this up temporarily right now for testing purposes. I need a ground wire. This should work. Something like that. I'm all out of hands, so can you reach up there and try the turn signal?
Oh, yeah.
Other one, that's the right side.
Ah!
Hey-o! That'll work. Let's put on the back blinkers. Both of these have their grounds connected to the taillight bracket here, but I think that's kind of ugly, so I'll relocate them somewhere less conspicuous. Okay, wires are disconnected and I should be able to get this all out of here. Maybe. Yeah, perfect. There's one and two turn signals removed. Now I have an important question for you. Should we put the new ones in the same place or right here? This is where the factory turn signals were mounted.
I like option number B.
Me too.
Clear winner.
Clear winner. I've got both the rear turn signals on here. I like the way they look. They're pretty flimsy, but should be fine.
If I sneeze, will they fall off?
They'll be fine. Just don't touch them.
Okay.
I already have the positive wires connected. Gray is the right side, green is the left side, and I'm making up a little 2-into-1 splitter so that both of the ground wires can connect to right here. So I've got a couple more crimps to do here, and then we'll put it all together. Like that. And I'll remove this bolt now. I see evidence of a wire being connected here before. Bless you.
Is the turn signal still there?
Whew, barely. So there's my new grounding point in a more sensible place. Now I can plug in the left negative wire and the right. Turn on the key, try it out. Left turn signal,
Yay!
right turn signal. The taillight is the next item on the list. This is the factory taillight bracket with aftermarket lens and light fixture. I'm alright with this except for the backer plate. Somebody decided to make this out of rubber. Call me old-fashioned, but I'd rather it be metal. This is a piece of 16 gauge steel. I've already traced the shape that I need, so I'll go cut it out. How's that look?
Very nice.
It's not ideal, but it's better than rubber. So now I need to thread the tail light wires through it.
Maybe they used rubber so it would be more water resistant.
Maybe. Metal will rust. So, nothing's perfect. How about we thread the wires through the correct hole?
Whew.
See how that doesn't work?
Oh yeah.
Try that again. Alright, I got the wire through the right hole this time and attached the light fixture to the bracket. Now we can see if it fits on the motorcycle. Feed the wires through here.
Pretty handy how they come out through that.
I believe that's the proper way.
Looks proper.
Previously somebody ran the wires off to the side here.
Will it fit?
It's tight, but it'll fit. Just need to get everything in here arranged so it doesn't get in the way when I put the lens back on. It is a fiddly thing though. Almost.
Wiggle it.
I'm wiggling it for all it's worth. There, there. Is that it? I think that's it.
That's it.
This is kind of bent, but that's not my fault. Think I should fix it? Does that look any better to you?
I think it looks really spiffy.
Well, it's the way it's going to stay because we're running late on time. That little turn signal flasher delayed things today. So the final step back here is to reconnect the taillight and brake light wires. When you weren't looking, I switched this connector, which was a female terminal, to a male so I can eliminate this little jumper that I was using. You remember from last time.
Yeah.
So this one is the tail light, or is it the brake light? Tail light, yeah. And green and white connects to blue, which is here somewhere. And that's our brake light. Just shout it out if you see it. There. Good job.
Thanks.
Anytime. Unless I am missing something, everything in the back of the motorcycle is connected. Do a quick check. Don't even need to start the motor this time. Left turn signal. Right turn signal. Tail light. And brake light.
Yeah!
Gets brighter and everything. Last thing we need to do is take care of the front end, which is just behind the headlight here. We need to replace these two turn signals with the new ones. Save this one as a souvenir. Cherish it always.
What about the horn?
The horn. I forgot to test the horn last time, and someone mentioned it in the comments. Mr. Shinigami asked about the horn. Should we test it now or wait?
Oh, I want to know.
You want to try?
Yeah.
Go ahead and try.
Where is...
Ooh! No nonsense. I'm satisfied with that.
Oh, yeah.
You satisfied with that?
Oh, yeah.
Hope Mr. Shinigami is satisfied with that horn noise. I'll replace those front turn signals now. Got the turn signals installed and the wires connected. I know from the back that green is the positive left turn signal, gray is the positive right turn signal, and I have the negatives going to the black and yellow on the motorcycle. I've been confused with this brown and white wire because there's nothing for it to plug into. I looked on the internet a little bit, didn't find out anything for certain, but I think the wire is unused on this motorcycle, but on some motorcycles, especially ones that are sold in other countries, this is for daytime running lights or parking lights. They aren't required in America, but I believe they are required in some European countries. Bluey over here, who is made in Spain, has a light switch with a parking lights function. Or maybe it's a running lights function. Same thing, even though they kind of mean the opposite things. Last thing to do here is reassemble the headlight. Unless I forgot something.
Are you going to test it prior to installation?
No need to.
All right. Feeling confident.
Completely confident. I shouldn't have been so confident. Somehow, I got the turn signal wires crossed. Probably because they disappear behind the headlight housing, or maybe because it's confusing to me that my left side is the right side of the motorcycle. But in any case, I have it sorted out now. The green wire goes to the left turn signal and the gray wire over to the right side. Does that check out for you too?
It does.
Okay, we'll put the headlight back together again, and then I think we can do a full systems check. Would you like to do the honors?
Sure. Just call me the Honorable Camera Girl.
Nice headlight.
What?
I said, oh no.
I heard. I turned the camera on right away.
I thought, I want to adjust the brake light switch so the camera girl can just step on the brake and we'll be sure the brake light comes on before the big test. I tried to loosen up this nut to adjust it so I could cause it to work correctly. And I broke it.
If it broke that easy, it needed to be fixed anyway.
Some days you step in it, some days you don't.
Yep.
I got my new brake light switch. Kawasaki no longer sells a replacement switch for this motorcycle, so I just got the universal $8 special. I'm going to wire this differently than the previous one. If the brake light circuit is set up correctly, the foot brake or the hand brake will illuminate the brake light. But the way I had it, only the rear brake turned the brake light on. When I was trying to figure out the wiring, I hadn't even thought about the front brake switch. And following my method of connecting light colors, plugged these two blue and red wires together rather than connecting them properly.
If you can't have a proper cup of coffee and a proper coffee pot, then have a cup of tea. Whew.
The new brake light switch is installed and I have it set up so it comes on just a little bit after I start pushing the pedal.
You didn't want to use the new spring?
The new spring isn't strong enough to activate the switch.
You serious?
Wasn't going to mention it, but since you did, I'll even show you. Ready?
Yeah. Oh dear.
There you have it. I tried though.
Looks nice. Better swap it back.
Mm-hmm.
Good old reliable.
You were gonna rattle my chain there. But I sent that torpedo right to Asia. Another challenge I faced with the new switch is that the wires are a little bit too short. These need to connect all the way over here. But I snipped off the ends of the old brake light switch, made a couple of jumper wires.
Very nice.
The crimp set we bought for your KX100 project is paying some dividends. This connector was a little bit too small, so I opened it up a little bit. See that? You can do that. Look at the difference, now that my mind is on the topic of new garbage, between the terminal from 1978 compared to 2023. That's progress. That's saving the environment by using less material. It'll work though.
It just fits.
Yeah, just the right length. Okay, brake light switch is installed. Since I had to wait for that to arrive, I decided to order some other parts too. I got the correct turn signal flasher. The bad news is it doesn't work.
What?
Well, that's a disadvantage of eBay. I mentioned earlier, a great thing about eBay is that you can use it for research, but when it comes to buying things, it's unpredictable. But yeah, doesn't work. So we'll stick with my repaired model. I also bought a new set of left side handlebar controls. these still work except for the high-low beam selector portion. This is how it's supposed to be. Little tab, that broke off, and you can't buy the little slider by itself.
Oh.
Had to get the whole switch. So if somebody ever wanted a way to earn themselves at least $100 in their lifetime, they could figure out a way to produce these little guys and sell them. Maybe on eBay. There. Yeah.
Nice.
I think we're gonna be in business. This'll set the whole thing off. Oh. Need to be very careful though, screwing into this 45-year-old plastic.
Could be brittle.
Could be brittle. Think we're all right. Yeah. There's only one thing that's keeping me from being able to say that the electrical system on this bike is fully functional. I noticed a couple days ago that when I turn the key on and the transmission's in neutral, the neutral light doesn't illuminate. I'm pretty sure it's just a blown out bulb because I never wire anything incorrectly. And I think I have a replacement bulb, but it's in the shed. So
To the shed?
To the shed. This is the speedometer from my Trail 90 that I turned into a Trail 125 a few years ago. I upgraded the headlight enclosure. Veterans to the channel will remember that video series. And I think these bulbs are the same 6 volt, 3 watt parts that the KM100 uses. Hopefully they haven't turned to dust. Oh, oh. There it is. It looks like the one I need.
Yeah.
I think I'll harvest all of them, take them home, hope one of them works.
Yeah.
I have 4 options here. I think this is the one I'd most likely be able to tell my fortune if I gazed into it. But I don't want that. We'll try this one for the neutral light.
Looks promising.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna work.
Turn on the key.
Ooh!
There it is. I can put this back together now. Should go quickly. Speedometer's just held in place by a couple of cotter pins. Does it say how fast I'm going?
Ooh, it does.
There. Now the seat goes on. These wires look a lot tighter now than when we started.
Oh, yeah.
Something to keep in mind when you're working with wires is that you need to be careful they don't get cut or pinched or chafed. I've experienced all those things. They're uncomfortable. For example, this taillight wire was something like this a little while ago, which could interfere with these little brackets that key into the frame. So I'll put it down like that, well out of the way. One last look at it.
Very nice.
There we go. I'll take the camera now. And you can start up the motorcycle and we'll do a full rundown of the electrical system.
Is the gas on?
Gas is on,
All right.
choke is on, key is on all the way. Neutral light illuminated. The neutral light does not just indicate the motorcycle's in neutral. When you turn that key on, neutral light comes on. The motorcycle's telling you, I'm not a heap. The neutral light works, which means probably everything else does.
Okay.
Somewhere in the course of these couple videos we've made, the motorcycle has gone up a tier as far as condition, personality, how high its head is when it walks the street. It's got swagger now. You can start it up.
If I knew you were gonna make a soliloquy, I would have kept the camera on you, not me.
Whenever you're ready.
Oops. Wow.
Give it a little gas. You're doing it right? Maybe it's not choked. Oh, it's choked. Did you flood it already? Okay, hold it wide open and kick it over.
Okay.
All right. Headlight works. The headlight only comes on with the engine running because it's powered by AC. And we're set to low beams. Okay, go high beam. I think that's working.
Left turn signal.
Left turn signal. Front works. Back works.
Right side.
Back works. Front works. Horn works.
Brakes.
What else?
Handbrake.
Yeah, try the handbrake. Perfect. Foot brake. Got it. As far as I can tell, it's all perfect. Except for one thing.
Off works.
Off works. Haven't tried that yet. I don't think the high beam indicator was working.
Ooh.
Should have checked that while we had it all apart. Shouldn't we have?
Yeah.
Got the bulb replaced. Here's your shot at redemption. You can do it.
Ooh.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, high beam's on!
Woo! High beam. Low beam. Woo. I think it's the complete package.
What about the motorcycle?
I'm happy with it. The turn signals look a little bit like they belong on Power Wheels, but that's all right. They were only 10 bucks. I'm going to make another video about the KM100. We'll go for a test ride, talk about what our plans are for it. I've mentioned before I have more motorcycles than space for them right now, so something has to be moved out, even though that's difficult for me. We should also give it a name. We brought home these 3 machines a couple weeks ago, immediately gave them names, welcomed them into the family, but have never given the KM100 that honor. Can you imagine how it might feel about that? It's terrible. You mentioned that the tank looks like a beetle.
Yeah.
So I've had some ideas floating around in my mind related to that.
Maybe Beetlejuice.
Maybe. It's a good one. If you guys have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. If you'd like to see every video we've ever done featuring the KM100 all the way back to when we bought it, I'll put a link to that playlist up on the screen. Wesley sold us this motorcycle. Thank you, Wesley. It's taken a while to do anything with it, but I hope you're still out there and you see this. Thanks for watching. I don't think Wesley did any of the funny electrical work. I think he just rode it. Nice bike. Nice bike. Green light's better than the red light.